can't.
I can't believe it. It's an orb.
It's an orb. Look, it's been following us, man, while we've been fishing. There it is, right there, right there, right there.
It's crazy.
It's weird, man. Look at that thing, man. It's just like hovering, not even moving. It's every now and then it moves, like when we get close to it.
Explain it all out. So she believes it, all right? 47,000 years in the future, those are the ones we call the Grays. P-47s are the ones that we call Grays. And I think I have a picture of them here. This is essentially what they look like. Actually, these are the ones from Roswell. They're supposed to be, according to the theory, these are the ones from 24,000 years in the future. They look, I think, this is from Roswell. And then there's the other ones that are 47,000 years in the future, and they look even more like the Grays than what you see on this picture here, or these pictures here.
Heard of the P52s and the P47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. P47 is present plus 47,000 years. P52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die.
Oh, they somehow averted it, and now we're still theoretically in this bottleneck where it could still happen. Although there's going to be a cataclysm, right? And then they're trying to fix this whole thing so that it goes right. Now, the problem is according to the theory, if I understand it correctly, the P-47, P-52s are actually competing. The P-52s are the Nordic types. They have their own timeline, which is apparently different than the P-47s.
So originally uploaded as the aliens that were retrieved from the Roswell crash. Wait a second.
Pode folhear se quiser.
Maio Shibu.
Isso aqui?
Sim.
Mancunawabu.
Mancunawabu.
Oh my gosh.
Mancunawabu. Mancunawabu é que mora debaixo da terra.
É, eu falei, esse aí.
Que se virou.
Oh my gosh, so they live underground. It actually makes sense why these things are coming from the ocean. Wait a minute. Found this video posted one day ago, 18,000 likes, African shaman talking about the same thing.
So think about this, okay? They live underground. This is exactly what the Nephilim did. The Nephilim lived underground. They lived in caves. This is where Medusa lived. If you understand Greek mythology and all these different mythologies in the ancient past, these beings lived, and there's even one underneath L.A., an urban legend based on claims by mining engineer Warren Schufelt, who used radio X-ray device to map out what he believed a 5,000-year-old subterranean city of lizard, of course, people. The alleged unproven city was described. This was also talked about in the X-Files, by the way, if you ever watched the X-Files.
About 3 feet tall. It looks for all the world like a child.
The stages of malnutrition. They look like a child with stages of malnutrition. So they claim that it's because they have some sort of, that was another thing that they were saying regarding these P-47s and P-52s. The P-47s are like, they have like a genetic problem. They're malnourished, whatever you want to call it, as he's saying, malnutrition. They have a genetic issue. So this is why they're taking humans now. And it looked like they're doing experiments on us with these.
So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you. The ultra-terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s?
It appears as if someone found missing footage from Amy Eskridge, one of the missing scientists, and in this video she reveals something that may change absolutely everything.
But it does. But see, here's the thing that I think, I don't think James LaFleur covered this part. There's another guy who also just died named David Wilcock. And he is more recent. Amy is from 2022. David Wilcock died like days ago. Okay? And he had a specific theory about these beings, and it's not that this story is true. Okay? And I'll play that in a little bit. But needless to say, could there be those that are not fully human amongst us while they claim to be from the future?
The theory says that what people think are aliens might not be aliens.
They're us from the future.
Or maybe they're Nephilim that still live underground just like they did in the ancient times. They're the same beings. They're not human, they're half human. They're half human, half fallen angel, half human, half animal, as in the case of these legends of... So, and who was it? Arthur C. Clarke, I'm sorry. He's a scientist. You know, he's kind of like supposed to be one of these high-level scientists that was respected, like, you know, Carl Sagan or something like that back in the 80s. Arthur C. Clarke and his movie where the alien comes forth and it's literally the devil. So this I think is out in front of your face telling you the truth about what they really are. They're actually the devil. So I think the reason why he's gone is because he actually figured this out, or at least figured out a lot of it. And it has to do with Project Looking Glass. Let's just play this clip here from David Wilcock, and you'll see what I'm getting at.
Yesterday and today is the very first public unveiling in a public presentation of Project Looking Glass. A human being is about this tall. This is built in underground bases. It is colossal in size. And what happens is when you fire this thing up, these rings start going in all different directions. It shields off the barrel of water inside, which is just like your pineal gland. The water inside flips over into time-space, which then captures argon gas, captures visual images, and this is what it looks like. It becomes huge, glowing, all the way out to these posts, which are used as stabilizers for the energy field. Now, it doesn't start out with an image of the Earth. That's just there as a placeholder, although you could see the whole Earth like that if you wanted to. That's not usually what happens. Well, contact, right? We have been given the technology right in front of our faces in the movies. They just don't tell you what it's for. In what? 13 Ghosts? Well, thank you. I'll have to check that one out. Doesn't sound like a movie I'd want to see, but if it's for that... Oh, I can imagine. So, contact, just to recap from yesterday, blueprints come in from the Vegans, from Vega. They figure out that it's only when you fold up these patterns into a cube, which forms what there in the center, the triangle with the eye in the middle, as it folds up. Cube geometry. That's when you can decode the plans.
Okay, so he said vegan. It came from the Vegans, right? And apparently you have the Orions and Zetas and the Vegans, I think. So it's actually tied into that. Oh, just keep playing.
Build this, these rings, which becomes this machine. And there's your little helicopter. So there's another shot of it. They got computer animations of how it's going to work with the different rings moving. This actually looks like the fisheye lens distortion effect that happens around the looking glass when you power it on. There's a gantry crane up at the top, and the little guy is dropped down and goes inside. That's like your barrel inside the mechanism there. And this is where all the action happens. This is where the Stargate opens, the wormhole into the higher realms. In this frame, we're seeing how the whole thing collapsed and fell apart. So, of course, you want to take a ride. You know, the new...
So you can see he already covered a lot of this, and he was getting into what it was all about and how it's something of a deception as well.
Down inside, this is the chamber and the chair inside, which we'll see is very important. And here's your geometry. Look at that. Did anybody notice that when you were watching the movie? Because it goes by pretty fast. That's that same geometry that's in the background radiation of the whole universe with the sphere in the center. They fire it up. Guess what happens? Big, bright luminosity, just like the real thing. The real thing that they're actually using and have been using since the 40s at least. And here's what it looked like from the control room. It gets brighter and brighter, and then she starts having the floor disappear. She gets dropped down inside, and then, of course, she goes through this wild wormhole ride, and there's an ascension experience at the end of the dream. The Iraq War had, to a large degree, the mission of capturing a looking glass technology that was dug up in Sumer, which was originally in the possession of Gaddafi in Libya, which is why they attacked Libya. Gaddafi got rid of it and gave it to Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was using this technology, viewing the future. The U.S. government went in after him because they felt that the fate of the world was at stake, because if they did not capture this technology and get it back and deconstruct it, that the Earth would have a pole shift. But when you actually decipher these letters, it means the doctrine of the convergent timeline paradox. Here's the problem. You look through time with this device, and when you hit 2012, everything goes perfectly white. As you get closer and closer to 2012, starting in around 1980, a very strange thing has been happening when they use the looking glass. There is an interlacing of images.
Why David Wilcock? I've been warning of this over the years. Watch my other Wilcock videos on my page to understand the connection. He knew many UFO people are in this. Famous preachers signed NDAs to deceive you into the lie. It's interesting because I've even seen astronauts say that these aliens are not, they're demons. You can see here, ancient Egypt bombshell, Jesus Christ body found. So there's actually articles that came out like about a week or two ago. I'll show you that in a second here. Let's play this real quick.
Allegedly found the body of Jesus? You guys have no idea how deep this goes, but I'm about to expose their whole plan. We're about to step into the great deception of our era and our time, because this actually allegedly goes back a few decades. So Jesus Christ's body found in a hidden chamber, claims expert? So fact check, hear me. The Express for the UK and the Daily Star are both alleging the same exact thing that may be discovered here shortly under this thing behind me. Now this gets very wild right here. There's people that allegedly took part in Project Looking Glass. And these people, some of these people are actually on record, on video, saying that a great deception's coming where these new great finds are going to happen and it's going to shake up religion altogether. And all of a sudden, people are not going to believe in their religion no more. Sounds like a deception. What's this behind me? This is the movie 13 Ghosts. What is this contraption right here? You got it. That's how the looking glass machinery allegedly looks. You can find detailed blueprints and other stuff online. Project Looking Glass, Operation Looking Glass was allegedly, people in the US trying to look into the future by creating crazy machinery. But this gets insane because remember how this looks, right? A whole bunch of disc wheels spinning within each other, much like the Angel, I believe it's Orifim, and much like that right behind me. Is it possible that Project Looking Glass was actually trying to play off things that we do for inventions when we look at...
So this is interesting. When he got shocked during one of his own experiments, and supposedly he invented looking glass, and then, of course, now they kind of got rid of all his works, right? They put it in some place you can't read it, unlike every other scientist, right? Einstein, you can go read all his stuff. They always exalt Einstein. Nikola Tesla kind of buried it in the sands of time. And apparently our president's uncle is the one who actually was commissioned to go through all of Nikola Tesla's personal effects after he died. So I don't know. Could there be something there? I mean, this thing right here in his office looks just like it as well. But then you also have Kim Clement here. And his prophecy, and this has to do with the devil's, they're trying to change the timeline so that it can be under the devil's power for another 500 years. He's trying to essentially avoid his judgment as far as what I think is going on here. And I think that's what those beings are. There was a second incursion of the gods and goddesses mating with mortals after the flood, proven in the Epic of Gilgamesh. So them taking people, trying to get their DNA, trying to get, other things from them so that they can recreate more hybrids. This is kind of what I think it is, actually. A statue discovered that shows a being that looks like an alien mating with humans. And this has been verified. You can ask Grok, you can ask whatever, and it will verify that this is a real ancient statue.